defined this as a goal for the American political right, and that put in place the people who would enact it. This is a very well-organized, well-staffed, well-funded, very committed, very radical, in its prime movement that still sees it as a problem that the blue states are still going to have abortion rights. Conservatives have the power on this court, and they will now wield it however they want.
Your daughter, if she is to survive, will live only a matter of hours after birth.
Get your number?
She will experience a multitude of
Your phone number?
Yeah.
You know she slept in her car last night?
What?
She slept in the car last night.
A decision will need to be made on termination.
Why?
I wish I could tell you
At
what
the
to do,
beach.
Oh.
but there's only one person
Why?
who can make this choice.
She said, I guess she had a job down there. She told me she had a job down there and decided, oh,
And that person
I'm
is
sitting on the
Greg.
beach. So I was thinking,
Who the fuck is Greg?
what did you say? I told her you got a room.
Okay.
Did you tell her that?
Dr. Robinson here. Listen, I've got a
Are you
pregnancy
serious?
Yes. But I think this one is the... Yes, okay. Sure.
What are you looking at?
Okay, I'll let them
That?
know.
That? You're kidding me.
Yeah. That's gonna be a no.
That is a first exclusive look at a new political ad from a group of Texas moms who have had it with their governor. They want Greg Abbott out of office and hitting the airwaves to make their case to fellow Texans. Joining me now, the founder of Mothers Against Greg Abbott, Nancy Thompson. Nancy, that ad is clearly geared at voters. We'll talk about the voters that you are trying to reach in just a minute. But I think there's also an implicit message there to Greg Abbott, to Republicans in your state. What is it you are driving home with them?
That women are not second-class citizens. We are fighting back, and we're fighting for our rights, and we're fighting for families, and they can expect a big fight when it comes to the ballot box this November, because we're not going to stand for it.
Okay, so that is the message to them. Again, though, ads like this, geared at voters. Talk to me about the type of voter that you are trying to reach with an ad like that. Is this about persuasion? Is this about motivation? Who do you think you can move with that ad?
Anyone who has a
We're actually
child.
we're trying to bridge some gaps. We are trying to bring together independents, moderate Republicans, and Democrats. We're trying to bring them together just to fight for change for Texas, to try to do the right thing and fight for all Texas families, especially for women, women's rights, and children. Our time to stand up is now, so we're really trying to gear it towards, trying to find the people in the middle, the disenfranchised, the people who are just tired of the Texas GOP.
Before the Supreme Court overturned Roe versus Wade, Texas Republicans have managed to ban most abortions in your state. I wonder, how are the bans now impacting Texans, making them perhaps rethink the role that government plays in their lives?
Yeah, I think they're impacting Texans from all over the state, from rural Texas to urban cities. We're seeing women and families having to make the most personal and dire decisions. And it's just not okay. It's just not okay. Women have, overnight in Texas, have become second-class citizens. So,
Without medical care.
There are no protections for incest, there are no protections for rape. And that's not okay. I mean, I have a 15-year-old, I have a daughter who is getting ready to go off to college. I want to make sure she has as many protections as possible, and I can't believe that I live in a world where my daughter has less rights now than I did when I was her age.
Mothers Against Greg Abbott went viral with another ad featuring a pretty diverse group of moms calling out Abbott's extreme policies, and the MSNBC opinion columnist argues the ad lays out, quote, a litany of the horrible policies promoted by Abbott and his Republican colleagues that have made the state a hell for anyone with a working conscience, from threatening to take trans kids away from their parents, to putting a bounty on women who seek abortion and a bounty on anyone who tries to help them get one, to loosening gun laws and so many mass shootings. Texas isn't a great state anymore. It's a failed state. The ad, I should note, has more than 3 million views on Twitter alone. What about this message is breaking through?
I just think that what we're doing is we're trying to lay out all the different ways that the Texas Texas GOP has been attacking families for the last couple of years, and we're just laying out and we're just saying that we've had enough. We want to bring all mothers together, all women together, everybody, mother to others together, just to stand up and fight back. And it's just time for Texans to take Texas back. The Texas GOP has gone too far, so we're fighting back.
No. You know, you talked about sort of this group that you are trying to mass, as you said, sort of some gaps that need to be filled. The group is also somewhat rare in the country, in Texas. It is bipartisan, Democrats, independents, moderate Republicans. How are you working to broaden that coalition of Texas voters to counter the Republican Party's agenda?
Well, a couple of things. I just spoke at the Texas Democratic Convention, and I just said, listen, we have to invite everybody to the table. We have to be friendly enough and just start talking to each other again. So one of the first things that we need to do is just talk to one another, invite people to the table. Let's have conversations as communities, because what the Texas GOP has done for the last few years is taken our communities and put us all in boxes so we are all against one another. Well, it's not working out for anyone. We all need to work together for a better community, for better neighborhoods, for better cities, for better, just overall, just to improve life in Texas. We need to fight for all Texans. And Texas can't be number one business, but be at the bottom of everything else. And the people who are really paying the price for Texas being number one in business is actual Texans. I mean, we're behind in education. We're at the bottom as far as like healthcare. We are number one killer of Texas children is guns, gun violence, and that's just not okay anymore. It's time. We all have to fight back. As Texans, we all have this opportunity right now to take Texas back. So we're inviting everybody who wants to take Texas back and create a nice, wonderful state that we can all live in again. We want everyone to come and join us. Mothers and others, come and join us and join our cause, because together we can work for change for Texas.
I hear you, Nancy, on the mothers and others, and yet I am curious about the mothers piece of this, because during the Trump years we heard a lot about rage moms and the power of rage moms at the polls. One of the issues that was bringing mothers out was the issue of family separations happening at our border under the Trump administration. Of course, Governor Greg Abbott has sort of continued a lot of that same rhetoric, a lot of that same anti-immigrant policies. Why focus on moms specifically? Do you think that is a model that can apply in other states?
You know what I'm seeing is that this model cannot just be applied in Texas, can be applied all over the United States. The moms are mad, the women are mad, our rights are at the table. We've just spent years trusting male politicians with our rights, and they failed us. So it's time for us women and just regular, moms out there and regular women out there and female politicians just to stand up and fight for our own rights. I mean, the male politicians are not going to come and save us. It's up to us to stand up and fight for our rights, and the time is now.
Nancy Thompson, thank you so much for being with us.